Happy Thursday, everyone. How are you doing today? Are you having a good day? Well, I tell you what, we've been talking the last couple of videos about, our worries, fears that we have typically when we have to leave our dogs. If we're going to head out of town for a little bit, we have to go on a vacation, or I guess don't have to go on a vacation, but you just want to go out of town. You want to go somewhere, or wherever you have to go, whether it be for business, you have to leave your dog with someone else. And I tell you, that causes a lot of angst for people. It just does. And I'm no different. And I've already told you that in previous videos. We do worry a little bit about our dogs whenever we leave them with someone else, because after all, no one is as good as you are when it comes to taking care of your dogs. So there you go. Natural angst involved anytime you check out and they have to check in. So we kind of talked a little bit about if we see our dogs when we're starting to hand them off to someone, maybe at a commercial boarding facility, your vet hospital, or a pet sitter, and they're shaking and trembling, it's not always associated with fear. Not always. So we went over that. We also talked a little bit about trust. How can you gain trust? You got to have that. If you're going to leave your dog with someone and you don't trust them, you have no business leaving them with them. I don't need to tell you that. You know that yourself. I mean, God, I'm sorry. I have to trust you. I got to trust you a whole lot, before I'm going to leave my dog with you. And so we went over how to kind of get some meager resemblance of trust. And then how about, why will they forget me? Well, my dogs forget me. We, again, went over that. And at the end of the day, does it really matter? I mean, seriously, from a science level, from a behavioral level, from getting reintroduced back to you, I'm just not going to worry about that. Yeah, again, I told you not to worry about that. So now one final little part of this puzzle. All right, so after we got past all of that, again, I have boarded a lot of people's dogs over these years. Here's the next piece of the puzzle. Here's the next thing I get hit with. All right, Brian, will my dog miss me? Is my dog going to be sad the whole time I'm gone? Because I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. And I worry that my dog's going to be missing me for 2 weeks, and my dog's going to be terribly sad, perpetually sad. Sound like anyone you know? Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know so much about the perpetually sad. I haven't really seen that. But stressed? Oh yeah, that's coming unless the animal is very familiar with the habitat in which it's being left and the occupants of that habitat. If I know this place, been here, done that more than a few times, then the animal will be less stressed. But if it's a novel environment, you can guarantee the first things they're going to do is seek out the rules of prediction and control. And then they're going to look around to see if anyone can offer them any social support. And if that stress level goes through the roof, they're going to need an outlet for that stress level. Once all that's done, well then, now they won't be so stressed. And don't even get stressed on that yourself, because we were all given the biology to overcome stress. Mild to moderate transient stress. What we don't get over so well is pathological stress. Day in, day out, hour in, hour out, nonstop. Here it comes, one after another. No, that's not what the physiological stress response was for. It was there for you on those very rare occasions to escape something trying to eat you. And then on a more normal occasion, which is a lesser stress signature, is me trying to catch something so I can eat it. Yeah, it can become big stress if you're starving to death. But prior to that, you are the hunter and you're not being hunted. Different stress signatures. So do our dogs feel sad? Well, you know what? There are volumes. Yesterday I talked about, well, dogs remember us. And how long can they remember us? There's not a lot of studies on that subject, but man, there is a ton of studies and research on the cognitive abilities of dogs, on their emotions, or what emotions we suspect that they have, on their abilities to have emotions, on the structures of their brain. And we have found out that, of course, the brain of your dog has similar structures to yours, many components that your brain has, and a lot of the same neurochemistry. And so does a rat. After all, why would we bother to study fear in a rat amygdala to treat phobias in humans if it weren't for the fact that there's some continuity? That continuity is the default mechanism there. Why would we bother? Why would we study it in apes and so on and so forth? So we know that the brains are similar. We know that the chemistry is similar. So all that makes sense. Well, and why wouldn't the dog have the same emotions as us? Well, I think the bigger question is, even if you do have the same emotions as us, what do you do with it? Seriously, what do you do with it? I mean, after all, you don't have language. So how are you going to express those emotions? There are degrees of fear, degrees of sadness, degrees of depression, degrees of excitement. I mean, look at yourself. Without theory of mind, without the ability to reason and problem solve and deduce this and deduct that and look for common denominators, how would you know exactly what emotion your dog has at that moment? You know, remember, famous, I'm trying to think of his name here. Yeah, that was it. Now I got it. It's one of those little tough names you have to remember. But Ludwig, I believe his name was Ludwig Wittgenstein. There we go. Just took me a second to draw that back out those neuronal nets. But he said one time, and he was a famous Austrian philosopher, and he said, if a lion could talk, we could not understand him. It's the absolute truth. So again, if dogs have all these emotions, what are they going to do with them? And what are we going to do with them? Even if I know that my dog is sad that I'm leaving, even if I know that, there are still times I still have to leave. I got to go. There's somewhere I have to be, and you can't go with me. We've all experienced this with our kids in daycares. Gosh, I remember the first time leaving the young ones there at the daycare. Oh my gosh, that was heart-wrenching. Heart-wrenching. They're screaming, oh my gosh, what are you doing to me? You're leaving me, you're leaving me. And there's, I don't think I ever walked out of a place so fast in my life. I was gone. It was about face and I was out the door. That was painful. But you know what? 3 days later, hey, I'm leaving. And there they go anyway. And like, don't miss me anymore, do you? Okay, well, I see how much I actually meant to you. It only took 3 days for you to get over the fact that I'm leaving you. So what would we do even if we knew if our dogs were sad? Well, a couple things we can do. Try to make them less sad. And part of that is make them familiar with where they're going to stay. And we've already addressed that. Maybe bring some things from home. Favorite toy. Maybe a bed. Man, I got to have my bed. As long as I have my bed, I'm doing fine. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do. Keep them on the same diet. Oh my gosh, there's lots of gastrointestinal issues that have been presented at the time that the animal's extremely stressed. It happens. It's part of the stress response. Not a handy time to be digesting that grass if you're trying to run from a lion. It isn't. No, we'll just go ahead and inhibit all storage energy right now. Use all the energy you have to get away from that darn thing that's right on your tail. Yeah. So again, lots of problems associated with stress when it comes to your digestive system. All of a sudden there's a lack of appetite. And if you want to add fuel to that fire, suddenly switch the dog's diet. Okay, I don't like this food. This isn't my food. I'm not comfortable with this food. Remember how we always use the saying, that's comfort food. Really? Does it massage you? Does it hug you? What does that food do for you? It's food that takes you back to memories back in the day when people actually did use their kitchens. They're not just a show place any longer like they are now. But back in the day when my mother would cook, she cooked food that if I eat on this day, at this point in my life, it brings me comfort. It does. It takes me back to those memories. Boy, when I smell cornbread in an iron skillet, I'm talking the old ones, the ones that weigh like 20 pounds, takes me back. It does. Puts a big old smile on my face and really makes me miss my mother a lot. That's why I get sad. But then again, those are great memories. So that's called comfort food. Make sure that when you leave your dog, I don't care who you leave it with its food. Because that food is something I can predict. That's predictive information. I'm familiar with that. I'm familiar with that bed. I'm familiar with that toy. Yeah. And then make sure they're going to be busy. Give them something to do. Give them something to do. Either do training, sign up for some training while you're going to be away. I mean, gosh, you could use that for sure. Can't ever get too much training going in. Or let them play with other dogs if they're good with other dogs. And one thing that I've done for many, many years, for decades now, is I've allowed pack boarding. Meaning, I know these are hyper social animals. They really are. They need social support. So therefore, if you can find someone they're compatible with, yeah, you may have to remove the bed, or of course, you're not going to let your dog eat around another strange dog. No, that's not good. No, we don't do that. But you also don't want them to fight the strange dog over their bed. So again, if they're going to be bunking with somebody else, pull out anything that they'd get in a fight over, any sort of competitive aggression, and let them just snuggle with one another. Let them do that. Gives them social support. So guys, there's a lot of ways that we can lessen your dog's depression while you're gone, their sadness, missing you. Give them all those things. Give them activity. Keep their food. Send them with their bed. Send them with their toy. And then you walk out that door as confidently as you can. And you return back, hey, tap it down a little bit. I know you're going to be excited to see your dog, but if you're one of these people that has to travel a lot for business, or you go on a lot of trips and you just got wanderlust in your system and you got to just hit the trails all the time and you can't take your dog with you, then don't make a big deal of your comings and goings. Act like going to that commercial facility or that person coming over to watch you, that's an everyday event. That's just what we do around here. There's nothing big about it. There's nothing bad about it, nothing great about it. Just what we do, day in, day out. If you can do that, you'll lower your dog's stress response. It'll become more of a routine. I'm familiar with the habitat. I'm familiar with the occupants, and we are good to go. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I advise that you do. I'm not going to get too deep into science on this particular moment. It's just not necessary. Yeah, you can sit there and ponder all you want, but we don't have any evidence that tells us exactly what the dog is thinking at any given moment. We can guess, we can hypothesize, and we can say, well, it does show it would need to be this if that's the cause and effect that's occurring right at this moment, so on and so forth, and just put all sorts of labels to it. But again, what can you do about it? So let's just focus on what we can do and not so much on scratching our heads and going, Because again, it's team here. You guys come as a matching pair. You're stressed, your dog is stressed. You don't enjoy that vacation, they're not going to enjoy going home with you. Yeah, they'll need a staycation away from you, that's for sure. Got to do these things, guys. It's a stressful world that we're in right now, and you've got to do everything that you possibly can to mitigate that stress. And if that means that you need to take a little trip, Don, go. Put it behind you. Dog's going to be fine. I promise you. They'll get over this little stressor. They'll learn. No different than you. You go somewhere new, you're stressed, you get over it too. Okay, guys, so let's worry about things that we need to. Let's just don't spend a lot of time what if in this thing. Let's just get it done. And hey, you guys will be a whole lot happier, and so will your dog. Cool? Sound good? All right. All right, that's it for the day. Enjoy the rest of your day. And if you are getting ready to head out of town here soon, you're going to try and go somewhere during the summer, go back and watch some of these videos. Guys, I've had to leave my dogs. I don't even know how many times. And I've not always left them at any facility that I owned. No. I've left them with people. I've left them at different facilities. I've left them at vet hospitals. Holy moly. It's been fine. Okay? So if you follow the steps, those are all personal. These are what I do every single time I need to leave my dogs. And you know how much I care about old cattle dog. But he down here on his bed right here. I'd show you, but the darn phone's on a tripod. Okay, I'm out of here. That's enough for today. I will see you guys tomorrow as we keep on rolling here with these videos. And I got some questions I need to answer from a lot of people. And a lot of these questions are, especially the one coming up tomorrow, is why on God's earth would a dog attack a 9-month-old child crawling across the floor? Yeah, a lot of reasons why a dog would do that. So let's get, the more we know, the more we know. The old saying, which devil's worse, the one you know or the one you don't know? For me, it's always been the one I don't know. So if you know it, then you won't be stressed by it because you have predictive information which allows you to control some of that outcome. And that's where we're going. So we're going to keep on marching come tomorrow. Till then, be safe out there, guys. I'll check you tomorrow. Watch out, cow dog. I got to step over you, buddy. There you go. I got to go turn this thing off.